I am gonna kill me a dragon. I missed. But it's alright, it's alright. I have loaded myself down with many, many things, all in preparation for this dragon. I have killed a dragon before. I'm playing on a multiplayer server currently, but the multiplayer server recently nerfed us a bit, and when I killed the dragon, it was before the nerf. So I want to prove to myself and to the other players that I can kill a dragon solo. Mostly because I wanna, and I am up for a challenge. And dragons in this game are... Look, all I can say is after a diet of Skyrim dragons, I can say that these dragons, they are ridiculous. They are what you think dragons are supposed to be. I am still overburdened because I made way too many javelins because I didn't know how they would operate. But I figure what I'll do is I'll go ahead and soften him up a bit with these ridiculous things. Now, developers, if you're watching, you're not. You could do to fix the way the javelins work. If they worked a little more like arrows, I understand how that may be a problem. I understand why that's not going to necessarily be an easy fix. But right now, javelins are a little broken, and I get it. Like, they are very different from everything else in this game in terms of how they work. Excuse me. In terms of, you know, coding requirements. Okay, now strategize here a little bit. Strategize, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften this fellow up with my javelins. And then I am gonna get on down there and I'm whoop him. Yeah, so the thing still thinks I'm over encumbered. It doesn't appreciate that I've thrown a lot of my javelins at this point, because a lot of this javelin throwing was done when I was still over encumbered. So the game is bad about catching that up, because it wants to tell you each and every time that you've been over encumbered, and sometimes the only way to get rid of that is to die. The server I'm on right now is actually very forgiving. So if you do die, you don't lose your stuff. Very, very forgiving server. The rules have been changing a bit, and it's kinda can be a little annoying. Not that particular rule, just other things. Like, don't mind me too much if I bitch, because I will bitch a little bit. But anyway, this server crashed. I had a different character on this server before the crash. Totally different concepts. More of a builder, less of a fighter. This time I wanted to go with more of a warrior build. And so, let me plan out which way all these things are gonna go. Because this has to be just so. Because that dragon has already taken a little more damage than I'd hoped. Anyway, give me just a moment, folks, while I think about this. Okay, I think I know how I want to do this. Oops, nope. That's the wrong kind of potion. Whatever. Okay, I'm used to a sword and shield build. Not doing that this time around. Okay, he's gonna sit down. That's fine. I've got this. Oh, man. That's kind of stuff. I can use it as my advantage. It's swinging very painful. Oh. He's going to hit me way harder. I am wearing medium armor. It's the armor I'm most comfortable in. It's the armor I'm spec'd for. Baton armor has the distinct advantage of being strength enhancing. Oh shit. So, okay, I hate that the skeletons come and interfere. I know that this is very sitting there and just a guess. Okay. Kind of. Oh god, it's worse than being trapped under a rhino. Take it out, take it out, take it out. Take it out. Got out. Goddamn undead archers. Let's go, you stupid idiot. I think the dragon may have killed it for me. The dragon doesn't like that fucker any more than I do. But as you can see, I've already done, what is that, 1/10 of his health? An 1/8? I don't know. But I have a healing factor where I don't think he does. And I cause bleeding. Now, I'm using a spear that I made from the last time I went dragon hunting. I think it's appropriate. Now, if I die, the trick is to get back here fast enough that he still hasn't healed or anything. This is the dragon that's closest to the obelisk that teleports me back, and I did build a map for him. So, my plan is a map room. I have a map room. I worked very hard to make it. This server has kind of a gold restriction on it. It's an RP server, and the admins are trying to make it more, I guess, MMO-ish is the right way. And so the idea is that if you have a big clan, you can give out quests, and you're allowed to go up into the volcano and get gold. The rest of us are not allowed to go get gold. You also trade and stuff, so I've been doing enough trading and getting enough silver and gold to make a map. Because I live further away from my clan. My clan lives in one area. I live a little further north than they do. Because I didn't want to get in the clan's way with any of my builds. And I didn't... I'm used to getting my own resources because I play this game. So having a clan that can actually, like, help is weird. And so I never think about them when I do my favor. Whenever I need resources, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a clan. It takes me a while to remember. But right now I'm gearing up for the Aquilonian DLC. I'm very excited because that's actually the aesthetic of what this character is supposed to be. So I can't wait to see the armor sets that come out, and I can't wait to be able to build with that Aquilonian stuff. So right now I've been hoarding a whole bunch of building resources, because like I want to be able to like actually build with like marble. So I'm right now I'm just stockpiling hardened brick, stockpiling steel reinforcements. So I feel like those are the things I'm gonna need. I'd be very surprised if I don't need those things. I also have several thousand insulated wood on standby. Because another player on the server had requested, through the Discord chat, had requested some 3,000 insulated wood, which I was more than happy to get for him. But he and I play at different times, and so by the time I was ready with it, because I made it all at night, by the time I had it all, I was at work, and I guess he got it from someone else, because I did not hear back from him. Which, yes, so sometimes the trading doesn't work too great. But it is also a PvP server, so there are some a little more instant consequences if you try and like skimp out on a deal. It's like, well, I can chase you and I can kill you. And if I know where your base is, even though you don't lose stuff upon death, I can keep you at your base because I'll just keep killing you. That's how you give me a thing. That would be agreed to. So, it looks like after the nerf, I'm still doing good. The first time I came up here, I did it out of a flawless star metal spear, because that's what I could make. And then I ran and I went into the pit where the undead dragon is, and I learned the recipe. I still haven't fought that thing because I'm afraid of it. I don't know if it's as tough as this dragon right here. I don't know if it's weaker. It might be even, it might be odd. I can't tell. I just know that it's big, it's a skeleton, and it's kind of scary. I don't want to deal with it. But I also know that I have this thing almost halfway. Now my strength is currently only Tier 3. I know that some warrior builds might have that quite higher, but I try to go for more of a balance. Because I don't like respecting often. I've built up near where there are plenty of yellow lotus, so like, I can respec whenever I want. I don't like doing it. It's tedious, in my opinion. I only respec if I know that I'm going to be spending like all of my playtime in within like a couple of day period gathering resources. That's when I respec, so that I can have that run while over encumbered thing and still have the survival perks so that I can still get stuff at the same rate. Otherwise, I don't mess with that. I don't like to respec. I like having a build that works for most of the situations. I know what they say, jack of all trades, master of none, but if I'm not a master of any, it's okay. Because the game that I played a lot before this was, if you look at any of my past streams, Dark Souls 3, so I'm used to being on my own in a game with challenging combat, and I'm used to having strange builds. So because of that, I feel qualified to take on this dragon, despite my probably suboptimal build. I literally described it to one of my clanmates, and they were like, "You are all over the place," and I was like, "Yeah, I kinda am." And he's all like, "I'm over here running with, you know, like, normal." Yeah, well. This is an RP server. My character is an adherent to Yogg, because I thought it would be cool to play her. But I'm playing her as if she was a true Atlantean rather than just a Cimmerian. For those of you who aren't as into Conan lore, a Cimmerian is what Conan is, and Cimmerians are the heirs of Atlantis, basically. They're descended from the Atlanteans. They like left before Atlantis sank. But I liked the idea that they were like actually still Atlanteans and that they had evolved past just being human. So in her eyes, she's not eating humans isn't cannibalism. Humans are just very advanced prey. And also in her eyes, waste not, want not. If I'm gonna kill something, I may as well eat it. So she doesn't go out and murder people for their meat, it's just that in the course of killing them, she may as well eat them. And this game just happens to reward that sort of behavior. Provided you picked the right religion. Because I've also made her a follower of Derketo, the goddess of lust and death. Very interesting that she's the goddess of both. I like how we finished off this, the fucking zombie. Now this game has provided me a lot of interesting, just like, moments. From the perspective of someone who plays these games like a role-playing game. I came across a hyena and a crocodile fighting to the death. And I didn't get any closer because I wanted them to duke it out. I was going to take on the winner. The crocodile won, no surprise to me. Crocodiles are tougher to kill than hyenas, and so I figured the hyena was going to have as much trouble killing a crocodile as a noob me, or as a low level build. Right. But so the crocodile came for me next, and I was totally ready to take it on, and then the shellback, which is, for those of you who haven't played this game yet and haven't seen me play this game, a shellback is a gorilla-shaped turtle. They have the gait of gorillas, but they are clearly turtle-type creatures. The shellback came out of nowhere. In shellbacks, there is an aggressive type of shellback, but for the most part, they aren't aggressive if you leave them alone. Except for the red ones. The red ones are aggressive. But this was a regular shellback. It came out of nowhere, and it straight up tackled the fucking crocodile. And I was like, oh my god, the shellback came to save my life. But I was afraid to go in and fight because I was like, I don't want to hit the shellback. Anyway, the crocodile, even though it had been weakened from the hyena, was still too tough for the shellback to take on. So the shellback ended up dying. But I decided in character that as long as I am playing this character, I would never hurt another shellback. Doesn't matter how badly I need hide, it doesn't matter if I want a shellback shield, I don't, because I will never harm a shellback. Because that one shellback decided to fucking take one for the team and do me that solid. He didn't have to. I was nothing to him. Now I do have a healing factor, but it is hella slow. And this dragon hits like a small truck. This thing hits like a F-150. Now that's not a small truck, I know, but it's not a semi. So I feel like if we scaled this up to Dark Souls 3 level things, it would be hitting like a semi. So I'll take what I can get. Part of the reason my build is all over the place is because I feel like Vitality 3 is a must. If you have less than Vitality 3, you're not in it for the long haul. But that's because, again, I cut my teeth with a game with similar combat with Dark Souls 3. So, in Dark Souls 3, I favor builds that have blessed weapons, because I like having that little tiny bit of passive regen. Because that has legitimately saved my life on more than one occasion. Attacks that otherwise should have killed me didn't, because they took just long enough that I was able to get a few health points, damn it. Able to get a few health points back. The difference, of course, is that the healing items in this game take longer to use. They don't just give you a straight thing back. You have to regenerate, and of course, if you get hit during that regeneration cycle, you will... Okay, so there's some blessed flesh. That is the special food that an altar of Yogg can make out of the special meat you can get by cleaving a person with the Yogg cleaver. It never spoils, which is friggin' awesome. It actually heals thirst, which is a hilarious reversal, because human flesh in this game, if you eat it, there is a drawback. It's not that it makes you sick, I mean, as long as you have the vitality perk to not get sick from raw meat, because you can't cook it. It doesn't make you sick, but it does drain your thirst. I don't know if any other food really does that too much. I've never noticed it. Salted foods do. But human flesh will absolutely make your character super thirsty. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna look back on the stream and I'm gonna be like, I wonder how long that took, because I am curious to see how long this takes. And I am posting this on YouTube, mostly because no one is watching right now, and I don't blame them. I didn't announce this stream. I just knew that I was going to do this, and I wanted a video record of it. And the PlayStation only does 15 minutes, and I knew it was going to take me longer than 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. The elapsed time is right up there on my screen. I can see that it's taken me half an hour. Well, not even half an hour to do this. It took me half an hour before. But before the nerf, I wasn't smart enough to bring health potions, because I wasn't thinking. Just wasn't thinking. But this is also to kind of prove that my build is viable. Because if I can take a dragon on by myself, I think I can take on anything else by myself. Including the one boss in this game that is truly Dark Soulsian, which is the Kin Scourge, the guardian of the Silent Legion recipes. Now, this server also has a restriction on that because that armor is kind of broken. Yeah. It's super heavy, but the armor rating is the highest in the game. It's the best armor, so the server runners don't want that lack of balance. So their whole thing is, look, this is an RP server, which I respect. So if you wear this armor, based on the lore that goes around the armor in the game, it's the sort of thing that should drive you crazy. So if you start wearing this armor, we're going to need you to roleplay like you're crazy. And I'm like, before the server crashed, I did wear it for a bit. And before the server crashed, and I really should have streamed it for you guys, and I feel silly for not doing it. I built an homage to the wall from Game of Thrones. I built an homage. People called it a Trump wall, which I'm like, Trump came along and ruined the concept of big walls with his stupid rhetoric. And it makes me sad, because as a fantasy buff, I enjoy crazy structures. Okay, that's a weird way to put that. I am a fantasy buff, and I enjoy the crazy structures you get in fantasy things. And more than one fantasy thing has, like, a crazy giant wall. But the ice wall in Game of Thrones is one of the most awesome examples of such a thing in fantasy. And so I was building it there. Now, people on the server got a little mad at me for that, because I chose to build it in what I felt was an appropriate space, which was in front of the Temple of Frost. For those of you who don't know, the Temple of Frost is a very small dungeon that allows you to get some very powerful recipes. There's no boss, because there isn't, but it is full of giants. The in-character reason is he was trying to protect everyone from the giants, but also, as a worshipper of Ymir, he was trying to protect Ymir's children from the outside world. So he figured the wall would do it. And the wall was crazy. The temple rests in a mountain crevice. I built inside I connected the crevice because I figured that the mountain itself would be a perfectly fine natural barrier. And it was. And so I closed off the mountain. And at its highest to lowest point, that is to say that the point, because I made the wall even across the top, or as even as I could. I fucked up on the build a little. I made the wall as even as I could. And then, at the highest to lowest point, it was 40 sections. And I really made some people angry. Because that spot is the biggest source of black ice in the game. Okay, I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to get greedy. I felt myself. I was like, nope, nope, getting too arrogant. Yes, yes, yes! Yes! Oh, I did it. Alright, folks, I did it. I fucking did it. Oh, yes. Alright. Alright. I killed the dragon in 25 minutes. Okay. Well, 26. And, that will be all for now. So, this is Catador, signing off. Well, you know what? Before I sign off, let's see what I get. Yes! Okay. Now signing off.